Teamwork is dreamwork! Everybody stand back! I'm going in! Everybody stand! I'm going in! Everybody stand back! Everybody stand back! Teamwork is dreamwork! Everybody stand back! Everybody stand back!
My Bennett is at max level 90 and currently at Constellation 3, which I got from Paimon's Bargain. He's using Aquila Favonia, a one-handed sword that has the highest base attack among its category, at least as of this recording, which scale well to his abilities, effectively increases Bennett's potential to do high damage output as a main Pyro DPS. As the title suggests, I crowned Bennett twice and probably triple crown him in the future just for the heck of it. Though I know I won't benefit much from his normal attack, especially when inside Chongyun's skill, and the fact that the substat of Aquila sword is physical damage bonus. Anyway, let's take a quick look at his artifacts. He's equipped with 4 set Crimson Witch of Flames, as he'll be doing most of his damage from melt reaction. Now, the substat were not the best, but I can live with it as an F2P player. By the way, I had to admit that I started farming these Pyro artifacts when I got Diluc on Child's Banner, so they were not originally intended for Bennett, but I chose Bennett over Diluc as my main Pyro DPS for a couple of reasons, but I guess that's another video for another time. But don't get me wrong, I also like Diluc a lot. As you can see, Diluc is not far left behind, or is he? He's level 80 at the moment with talent 667, but for now, I have no plan in crowning him whatsoever. Instead, I gave one crown to my physical Keqing for her auto. By the way, you might want to check my other video for Keqing insane physical damage. A disclaimer though, it's not real 2 billion damage. Link in the description. Going back, in order to do high melt damage, Elemental Mastery comes into play. So Chongyun's artifacts are the 4-piece instructor set which provides additional EM for the whole party upon triggering a reaction. My weapon for him is the Sacrificial Greatsword, mainly to proc cryo debuff to the enemies more consistently. Because of limited resources as an F2P, I didn't really invest much on leveling up the talents for all of my support characters unless I found it necessary to do so. He is currently at C1, but C2 should do best for the kind of combo that I'll be using, which will then be explained later in this video. The next key character is Sucrose. I used the Treant Tales of Dragon Slayer as her weapon for the whopping 48% attack bonus that will be utilized by Bennett. As for her artifacts, the Viridian set is the best in slot for her to become a powerful character that buffs the party and debuffs the enemies with her anemo attacks. Elemental Mastery should be the main stat for her Sands, Goblet, and Circlet, since she will be sharing a portion of her EM to the party. But I got unlucky getting an EM Viridian Goblet and Circlet. But this will do for now. Again, F2P. She's my first C6 character aside from the Traveler. Her talents, just like my any other supports, are not that high. The fourth character of choice could be anyone who has Pyro Vision for Pyro Resonance bonus with 4 set Noblesse Oblige artifacts. I personally chose Amber to make the party balance in terms of character gender as well as the variation of weapons for flexibility on certain situations. I gave her Pabonius Warbow for its high energy recharge substat. Her talents and constellation were both at lowest tier, but I will definitely level her up somehow. This team composition is greatly inspired by Yudachi's Juggernaut Bennett video. If you haven't seen it yet, go check that out.
Benny's adventure team, assemble!
Link in the description. Now for the combo. First, I used Bennett's skill 3 times to destroy Cryo Regisbind Shield, effectively adding a total of 22.5 stack Pyro damage bonus from the 4 set Crimson artifacts. Next is to use Amber's Burst to activate the 4 set Noblesse bonus for 12 seconds. This is logical to cast first since the buff duration is a little longer than Sucrose's and Chongyun's buff, which both only last 8 seconds. Then switch to Sucrose. You can do swirl using normal attack to proc 4 set Viridian effect, but then you are losing the EM bonus from her 4th passive talent, so always use her skill or burst whenever possible. My Sucrose is at Constellation 6 as I mentioned earlier. The reason I don't use her burst is the longer animation time and it will infuse Pyro element, making it hard for me to do constant melt reaction. Let me show you real quick what I mean by that.
Let it rain. Enhanced animal modules. Ha!
Spirit Blade! Attack!
Teamwork is dreamwork. Ha!
So in my case, I always use her skill to proc Swirl. Moving on, switch back to Bennett to activate Sucrose's TTDS weapon passive. You can't actually switch character immediately in this state because of the switching cooldown, so might as well use skill once to do damage and to avoid resetting Bennett's stacks. Now switch to Xiangyun. I usually use his burst first to trigger melt reaction, activating the 4-piece instructor set, and then use his skill to proc cryo debuff. This skill converts all melee's normal attack into cryo, while inside its AoE, making it viable for a character like Bennett to abuse his skill to deal melt damage. Finally, switch back to Bennett and use his burst to deal massive damage. Then do normal attacks to proc cryo again and use his skill whenever it's ready for a constant melt damage.
Let's light it up!
This is the full footage of the combo, followed by random combats to different enemies in the game, showcasing the same combo.
With my blade!
Everybody stand back! Let it rain. Absorption test.
Submit for judgment!
Everybody stand back! Ha! Let's light it up! Ha! No escape! Absorption test.
Spirit Blade! Forth my blade!
Everybody stand back! Let it rain. Absorption test. Let's light it up!
From whence you came!
Everybody stand back! No one escapes my sight! Animal test 63. Ha!
From whence you came! Swift and merciful!
I'm going in! No one escapes my sight! Adventure!
Submit for judgment!
I'm going in! No one escapes my sight! Stand clear! Let's light it up!
Spirit Blade! Attack one with my blade!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's light it up! No one escapes my sights! Absorption test! Let's light it up!
Spirit Blade! Forth my blade!
I'm going in! Off we go! Let it rain!
Give me a go!
Let's light it up!
From whence you came! A touch of frost!
Everybody stand back! Let's light it up! Let it rain! Animal test 6308!
Spirit Blade! Forth my blade!
Everybody stand back! Let's light it up! Let it rain! Animal test 6308!
Submit for judgment!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
That's pretty much it about this video. Thanks for watching. Stay broken.